we are chatting, as I mentioned before, with this amazing group of OG creators. We're here with artist Black Dave, Ashira, Creatress, and Jeff Jag. And as I mentioned earlier, they've been over on Farcaster trailblazing and learning about the benefits of being an artist on this social app. So I am very excited to get into it. We're still trying to get, I think, Ashira up here, and then we'll be complete. Okay, we are now complete. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we get into it. So there is info on Nifty Kit's updates, ERC20 app, new payment options. You can check out our tutorial above on that. You can share it out. For those who have been following Nifty Kit and those who haven't, we have some more exciting updates. You can create generative collections, use soulbound tokens, mint on base. So we invite you to always explore Nifty Kit as we continue to bring you new tools and options like gas fee, not grass, but gas-free minting, where no crypto wallets are needed. You can create 3D drops and additions. We even have a pay what you want minting, and also Nifty Kit's very own custom generator that is free to use. So please check that out. And we also have joined forces with CrossMint to make credit card minting available for your collections. I've tried it, it's awesome. Um, Again, that is pinned up top. There's actually a tutorial on that as well, pinned up top. So check those out. And real quick, we have two big announcements today. The first is that next week we are rolling out minting on Farcaster using frames, and I will be dropping the first NFT utilizing this new Nifty Kit feature for my collection. Sorry, no vacancy. So it's very apropos that we are chatting about Farcaster today, and those details those are pinned up top, and you can join for the launch next Tuesday on X Spaces. We'll be back here. And our other big announcement is that Nifty Kit is celebrating our 3rd-year anniversary. Nifty Kit is 3 years old this month, so please check out the pinned post above and share your work underneath the anniversary post. And lastly, always please visit niftykit.com to learn how you can use our tools to become a creator, and hit me up if you have any questions always. So this space goes for about an hour. And lastly, just a friendly reminder that we do host a Degen space in the evenings called Not Really Degen every Thursday night. That's tonight. We have NFT giveaways powered by Nifty Kit. So set a reminder for that. And that's also pinned. Follow Nifty Kit, put us on notifications so you don't miss out. So with that, we're talking with this amazing crew today about Farcaster. I just want to let our guests know before we dive in that you can feel free to pin anything up top, anything additional like resources or anything you mention as we chat. So welcome everyone. Thank you for being here today. I would love to quickly go around and just say hello to everyone. Have you introduced yourself? How's it been? It's been a minute. Let's start with Creatress since you're directly to my right. GM.
GM, everybody. Hey, Jessica. Yeah, just doing great. Feeling even better now that I see Ashira and Jeff Jag and Black Dave. Like these are the homies. So thanks for putting together a panel full of my homies.
Amazing. Love to have you. Just saw you at NFT NYC. Saw several of you at NFT NYC. Ashira, you're next closest to me. Welcome. Thank you for taking part in this today. Really appreciate you being here and in the back channels now on Farcaster.
Yeah, super happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Super nice to see all the homies here upstage and in the audience down below. And I'm just really excited about this topic of conversation in general.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you again for being here. Dan, you're next. And you're responsible for all of us here. So what's up?
Yeah, what's up, everyone? Co-founder of Nifty Kit. I'm really here just to steal ideas about Farcaster and really learn what everybody's using it for. So add me on there. I super excited to chat with all the pros. So thank you for being here, everyone.
Amazing. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for allowing us to have this space today. Really excited. Please do follow Nifty Kit and follow Dan over on Farcaster. Next, we got Black Dave. we touched on Farcaster a little bit, but we're saving the best for the space, right? Welcome.
Yo, I just want to say to everyone that my FID is 2687. I hope you guys are doing well. Also, I'm gonna go down and come back up because I can only hear you and Dan, so I should probably fix that.
Okay, got it. Love the flex of the
Okay,
19
okay,
number.
okay. Do you
Are
guys
you gonna
want to do?
outflex now, Jeff? What's up?
No, no, mine is 5090, which I thought was pretty baller, but 26, dude.
Top 6,000 is really good. Like it's not bad.
I think I'm in the
Okay.
2000s too. Not to brag. I have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure I was low down there.
Oh,
Triple
I'm
G.
bragging.
I wasn't using the platform though, so I'm kind of like, an asshat. So, but
I
welcome,
put my
Jeff.
FID in my profile. Oh, sorry, you haven't even introduced me. Shut up,
No,
guy.
you're doing it. Go.
Hi, my name is Jeff. That's what I say.
Well, welcome, Jeff, and we'll bring Black Dave up here as soon as um, he enters the room again. So I have a few questions, and then I do want to open it up for an AMA. Like as we're collecting information, hopefully that this space can be a space where people can get educated on Farcaster and ask each other questions. So I would love to ask anybody who's up for the task, just for a TLDR, what the fuck is Farcaster? And then I would also like all of you to weigh in on how you feel that it's different from other social media platforms to you, but also keeping it specifically in the context of being like a creator on X. So keeping that in mind, this is a bit of a niche conversation, but yeah, whoever wants to give a TLDR on Farcaster. Anyone, any takers on this one?
Just leave it wide open like that. Okay.
I
Yeah,
So
go.
just
yeah,
like for a 101.
Farcaster is the protocol, and most people call it the purple app because we were using Warpcast, but there's a ton of them. There's Yup, there's gosh, I can't even remember all the names of all the different
There's
versions, but there's a bunch of apps.
Supercast.
Supercast, yeah.
Yup is
Um,
cool because Yup it's not just for Farcaster, it's also for Twitter and Lens and a bunch of others too. Like what was the Blue Sky I think is on there, maybe Threads even. Maybe I'm making that up. Or maybe they're gonna be on there soon. But with Yup you can do, I mean, not that we're here to talk about Yup, but sorry Jeff, I cut you off.
no, you're
Called you
good. Yeah, fill it in.
interrupted. Yeah. No, yeah. So yeah, I mean, you were saying Farcaster is the protocol, and it's as Dan says, a sufficiently decentralized protocol. So it's not fully decentralized yet, is my understanding. And there's podcasts that he's spoken on before that you can look up and hear what he has to say about that. But it is decentralized in the sense that anybody can build on top of the protocol and can build their own like what is it, like a client or something, or an app
Exactly.
to use the protocol. And so Warpcast is the one that I think Dan and and I'm terrible with names, I'm sorry, that they have created on top of Farcaster, and that's the one that's like in the Apple App Store, and it's real easy to use. They're building it as we're using it, so they're constantly updating. And there's some days where I will get a little message telling me to refresh my app, and I feel really bullish on those days because it's like, ooh, what else are we gonna get? And It's just been really cool to have that sort of process like laid out in public in front of us as we're using the app itself. But with Warpcast, there are filters so that lower quality casts, as we call them. What do we call X tweets now? Do we call them something different than tweets?
Posts.
Host.
Posts. Okay, sorry, X posts. So we call posts, we call them casts over there, as we called them tweets in a previous X life. So Warpcast will filter out the lower what it considers what that algorithm considers lower quality casts and comments and things like that. But the protocol itself still has all of those. So you can go on a different protocol. I'm sorry, a different client like Supercast, for instance, which I think costs $10 a month right now. Warpcast is free. Oh no, it's not free actually. Warpcast is $5, right? I think Warpcast is $5
And that's
maybe,
for the
but
year, right?
I
Because
think that's
that's,
for the.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's for the year, and then at some point you have to like buy more storage or something. This is another thing that people aren't quite familiar with, and we can get into that either now or later. But the storage thing with Farcaster is not like, it's not like your stuff is going to be there forever and ever and ever. Actually, I take that back. I don't know if that's Farcaster or Warpcast. I don't know if does anybody know that? If like once your storage dips, they start like dropping the reactions that you did from like the past, like what is it, like first in, first out sort of situation. But you can download all of your stuff. You can download your whole history using a different client. And you can also buy more storage, which would also solve that problem. But it is something that people, especially artists, I think, need to be aware of, because as time goes on, as we post more, as we cast more and more, those first casts that you cast, or those first comments or first reactions, will start to drop off at a certain point. But you can download all your history with a different thing. But all of this is stuff that we are all learning in real time, which I think is one of the fascinating things for me, and which is something that just makes me so excited. I don't know if I explained anything or just kind of went off on all sorts of tangents, but yeah, that's what I have to say about that. So there's a bunch of different
No,
there are a
that's
bunch of
great.
different clients. Yeah.
That's great. And does anyone want to add anything to that?
I don't want to add anything to that specifically, but I do want to explain more things about Farcaster, maybe. Um, I think one of the primary differences between uh, X and Farcaster is the existence of channels. A lot of people think of the Farcaster protocol as Reddit meeting Twitter because of the existence of channels. And channels are essentially just topical locations that you can cast into. So people can go there and see things on a specific topic, just like a subreddit. Um, and then I think next is frames, which are essentially like mini applications within the Farcaster protocol that can do a wide variety of things, and they're constantly updating those APIs for you to be able to do more. Um, when it first launched, it was essentially just you adding things to your wallet or clicking things to link out to other things or refreshing what you see inside of the frame. But it has grown manyfold into being able to input things into different fields and do all sorts of things, mint NFTs using wallets directly right there. And there was one more thing I feel like um, actions, which are kind of new, which are sort of like a scaled down version of frames. It's kind of like a quick reaction to individual casts. So you have certain things you can do, like tip someone in a token, like view their FID, like rate the quality of the cast itself or the caster overall. And so I just wanted to add those few tools or whatever that we'll probably end up talking about.
That's really great. That actually, Shira, if you want to add something to that before you had your
No,
hand up for a split second.
I was just going to say that all of those things are super fascinating too, just with the range of things that people can do with them. And I think that you're right, Black David. That is like probably the thing that stands out to me the most about Farcaster right now is how interactive it is. in terms of like what people can do with it and within it, to create like these, entire, I don't know what the right word is here, but like these whole, like just so many different things. Like you mentioned actions, right? And like with actions, it could either like you have as somebody using the protocol, you have the ability to add the actions you want to have access to your profile. So right now with Warpcast, you can only add 5 actions, but those actions are everything from, tally up how many degen tips this post got to how much degen this person has in their wallet who posted to, is this account a bot? Does it have bot activity or not? To, did this person actually comment on your post, or sorry, did this person who commented on your post actually mint the thing they said they minted or not? Like there's just so many ways to use actions, and we're just like with all the developers that are on Farcaster, like we are just seeing the very bare beginnings of what the possibilities are, for actions, for frames, for channels too. Like channels cost, another thing we need to talk about is warps versus degen, which are 2 separate coins. Warps, degen is decentralized, warps is not. Warps is kind of like Robux in Roblox, is the way I've been sort of describing it to people, where it's like it's an in-app currency, and with warps, you can either tip people warps, or you use warps to buy your channel. You have to buy the channels for a year. It costs 2,500 warps, which right now is $25. So if you want to, which I think keeps people from just just posting up like tons of different channels or squatting channels or all that kind of stuff, because people have an actual stake in it. It's not just like, oh, I'm gonna throw up this thing, like you're still paying for it and you have to pay for it every year. So I think that there's so many different things going on within Farcaster that make it so incredibly valuable, in a way that's not just shouting into the void and hoping that you are heard, which is what I have felt about X for the last, long time now. There's so many different ways of interacting with people, with content, with all sorts of stuff, that, yeah, like I just wanted to give a little bit more of a background in those things.
Yeah, I do want to circle back and talk a little bit more about degen actually and the tipping. I did see Creatress, you had your hand up for a moment. Did you want to weigh in on that? I do want to circle back and talk about the creative process too, which one I want to bring you into. But did you want to say something before we get to Jeff?
Yeah, well, oh my gosh, so many things. So many things. I think Black Dave and Ashira touched on like 30 topics at least. So I'm trying to like gather my thoughts and see which
Yeah,
one I
no
actually want to
worries.
answer to.
We're gonna circle back around because I do want to hit on a few things that she said as well. But go ahead and feel free to weigh in on whatever piece of what they shared spoke to you.
Yeah. Okay, I'll touch on one because I'm the type of person that forgets if I don't like interrupt or butt in. One thing that my light bulb went off when she was talking about buttons and actions. So at some point, I would like to talk about buttons and actions, and I'm gonna actually post a screenshot of what the hell we're talking about, like where the button even is or where the action is, because I recently started using them more. And just last night, and this goes into the segue about tipping degen, which I've been shouting about for so fucking long that just like, y'all, get it together and get over here and forget your shit. Right. Okay. Okay. I can't even. But anyway, on degen, I just found out yesterday that I have a tipping allowance for ham now. right? Shout out to the people early in ham. I know Ash was was earlier than I was. So anyway, there's so many things going on Warpcast that you have to just pick a few and run with it, is what I have found. So on that note, DGen is my number one. And now that I have a ham tipping allowance, I'm also tipping ham. So if anybody here wants a tip, feel free to retweet my most recent tweet on Warpcast, and I'll go and find you and tip you some DGen and some ham. But on that note, on back to the buttons, you can add a button to tip 100 ham. So now anytime now I'm using a button and I don't have to type out the little emoji and the number that I want to tip. I can just automatically hit up this little button and it sends 100 ham tip to people. So the buttons are actually getting even more useful by the minute. Dan, yeah, I know, right? Pretty cool. That was just yesterday. This is alpha, guys. I just found this out yesterday. So anyway, let's go back to whatever we're going to talk about, and I'll weigh in as we go and
No,
watch the
this is
comments. I'm
great. This
posting
is
stuff there.
great. Jeff, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I do want to tell kind of like my whole kind of reason for going over there, why I think it's good for like you mentioned, for artists, and the differences. So like I think that when you compare X and Warpcast, um they're different algorithms. So there's a chance that if you're feeling kind of put down or muffled by the X algorithm, which is I have personally, and I know a lot of people I talk to are like, my posts don't seem to go anywhere. I don't know what the relationship is to, and like how many people are active in our community, and regardless, but there are more active members of the crypto Twitter and digital art and uh I guess like NFT, if you want to use that word, community, um, on and they're more active on Warpcast, so that's a big deal because the people are there. So that I mean, you can even get your influencers there if you want. They've moved over as well. So the thing though is that you get kind of like more control over, instead of hashtags, the best way, like Black Dave said it right, is that like it's relative to Reddit in the same way. Channels are like Reddit and hashtags had a baby. So they're like they're like they're like like you can have one channel in your post. So you can post it into that channel. And then people who are following that are more likely to see that content. It makes so much more sense as to like curating your feed if you want to like follow a bunch of art related channels, and then you're going to see more art in your feed because it's very similar like Reddit. Like if you follow a bunch of different subreddits, your front page is going to reflect those. So you're still going to be able to see posts that don't have a channel. So you're still going to, and you're going to see things that you don't subscribe to. So like that's one of the fun things about the discovery of Farcaster, is that you're going through and you're like, someone made a post and it's in um like it's in a content relevant channel, like if they're gonna post their food, pictures of food, like people take, I took a picture, ITAP, that one, that's a fun channel. Art, AI art, those ones are pretty common for me. But like you'll find these and then you'll be like, oh, I actually want to see more of that. So it's a way of filtering your feed and customizing what you see as a user, as well as a creator, being able to customize where you put things and have it more focused to people who are looking for something like that. So that's my one big thing that I really like about it. And before we get into all the degen and all the minting and all that other stuff, that alone, I believe personally, is enough of a reason to at least try it. And like, go over there and say like, is this for me? Is this like a place where I'm going to find entertainment and or pleasure? So, that. Then on the other side of things, the like content creator, artist, selling point of view, when it comes to posting links, we've all had this like beer. Like we're basically like redheaded stepchildren, like beat to the ground here of posting links on X. I'm sorry, that was I shouldn't have said that. But like we're not allowed to post links here. We get our posts like put under and then like okay, then we figured out you have to like post the thing and then put the link as the first comment, and that's a pain in the ass. Cause why? And then you go over to Farcaster and they're like, yeah, post your links. We'll even like put them in a frame for you and make it customizable and people can interact with it. The difference in attitude between those two things of someone who's coming to share content, to share like, maybe I want to share a YouTube video, but I don't want like daddy E coming and telling me like, hey, you can't do that because that's a different social media platform that is competitor to X. So we're gonna bump that down in the algo and not show the link properly, and people can't really watch that here. It'll just show up. It's a link. It's like that. This whole like I get that there are scammers and bots and stuff. I get that, but like no, not me. I'm not. I'm selling artwork. So if I want to get in contact with people who are interested in buying artwork, I want to post the link. That's how people can find my work. And so if I can do that, and then it not only helps me because it doesn't bump me down in the algo, it actually shows the content that I want to see and makes it easier for people to interact with it. So not only do I not have to leave that page to go to, you can go click on it and go to Zora and do the whole wallet thing, that's fine. Or you can mint with warps right in Farcaster. Or you can, click and mint a thing with even with like I think Degen and what are some other ones? Like I think you can
Base.
do with base.
Yeah, base.
Either way, yeah. So like, and now Nifty Kit's going to be doing this. Now I'm super excited because Nifty Kit has all these tools. I've been using Nifty Kit for 2 years now, 2.5, and I was almost at the beginning. Joseph beat me, but like I'm like right up there, and like, but like we're going to be able to use all these tools in conjunction with Farcaster, and where it just makes it click a button to mint. If people want to mint, they can click that button instead of having to go through hoops and all the things. So
I love
uh,
that. And
I'll
I
wrap
do
that
want
up.
to, yeah, I want to comment on that too before we get to Ashira. I'm, I feel like I am way less experienced than you guys up here. That's why I invited you because I've been learning a lot from you over the last few months. Even though I've had my account for a very long time, just getting active over there. I mean, there's nothing like that Degen drop to like get you motivated to get over there. But I'm glad that I'm over there now because I am interacting with and seeing a lot more what I would consider art, right? It's not hidden, the links aren't hidden. I'm not being those things aren't being kept from me. I've even gone on pages where I just see a friend of mine, again, like you were saying, Jeff, not a bot, like a person that I know, and all they use their page for is resharing mints that are in frames that I could just go down and click and be like, I like that, I like that, I like that. And really kind of build up a collection as a collector and then as an artist that gives me great excitement to put work out in this capacity. So I do want to talk a little bit about what you touched on a bit as a creator, but I do want to get to Ashira before we go back to that.
Yeah, so I actually cannot remember what I originally raised my hand for. Like Creatress, I, forget stuff a lot. But I do want to say that another thing that's really sort of fascinating about Farcaster and Warpcast right now, along with the stuff, that is being built on Farcaster and Warpcast, but just the stuff that is happening around it as well. So first of all, Jessica, the stuff, what you mentioned with like how easy it is to mint and all that, I would say that Farcaster, Warpcast, frames, and base for me has made minting fun again. It's made collecting fun again. It's made supporting my friends fun again because it is so easy and so cheap and it's just built right into the system there, where it's just so easy to use. And so I think for creators right now, while I don't know that, right now is the climate to really put out, collections that cost a bunch of money, there are a lot of artists that are using Zora, like Zora's, mint fees, and collecting, quite a bit of money from their free mints on Zora. So that's something that has become really interesting for creators, for artists using Farcaster and Warpcast as well, is just the ease of that. And also like things like Dracula, like we're seeing now, not just, and Dracula's it's like kind of a bigger version of this, but we're seeing all these things right now that are using Warpcast or Farcaster as a jumping off point to do all sorts of other things, whether that's like, Jam, where you can buy and trade people's casts, and you're not minting the photos that they posted, you're actually minting the cast, and you're not actually minting it, you're purchasing and trading it on Jam, and then you actually can mint it if you want to go down that route. It's kind of fascinating. It's, there's all these sort of social plays. There's also Dracula, which launched pretty much on Warpcast with people who are, prominent on Warpcast, who also have, big TikTok followers. Dracula is an app that's it's like TikTok, where you can post videos. It's actually pretty much exactly like TikTok, except it's you can also trade. You can buy and trade creator coins, which right now are 100% speculative, but like Warpcast and Farcaster, it's being built as we're going along, as people are using it. So, they're shipping things right and left, and so I imagine that it will not be a very long while before creator tokens are not necessarily speculative anymore. But especially with like the whole TikTok thing in the U.S. happening right now, with like everything up in the air, and I know there's all these scares about like, their TikTok is going to be banned. I don't think it's going to be banned, but they are going to tamp down on China's ability to algorithm us into oblivion, from like a national security standpoint. And Dracula has a lot of potential there. Like I don't really see anybody doing what Dracula is doing, and I'm not necessarily like all up in that area of social media, like the video stuff. But anybody who's interested, like check out Dracula. And one of the interesting things with that is that they actually made Degen, which I know we're going to circle back to Degen. They made Degen the coin that you can buy and sell the creator tokens with on Dracula. So that, just kind of adding to like the whole ecosystem. And I also want to say that it's worth noting that Degen had nothing to do with Farcaster or Warpcast itself. That's like a third party entirely, that was actually sprung up from the Degen channel. So talk about like communities rallying around a channel and creating their own, things entirely. Like that's what Degen did. And so, and it has become like, we can get back to tipping with Degen and tipping with Warps, and with Ham now, and there's a thing called floaties we can get back to. There's all sorts of coins and things happening on Farcaster, on Warpcast right now, which, to be honest, I don't know that the devs of Farcaster really love that. Like, I know that there's been some, they don't necessarily want that sort of noise to be, what Farcaster is about. But I think they've done a pretty good job at kind of incorporating it in ways that, or allowing people to incorporate these things in ways that, are kind of alive in the sense that like they're malleable and flexible, and you know, as things come up, they're dealing with them, which is again something that I just really love about the whole system. Like it's not this like behind closed doors, we're gonna fix the algorithm and we're gonna, you know, now you're not gonna see anything anymore, which is what essentially what happened to me on Twitter. Like I don't see anybody, I don't get seen. There, like I have nothing on Twitter, which is why I'm barely on here anymore, to be honest. Like I am, you know, like Elon Musk asked, was it a few weeks ago, like why did he leave? Like why did Vitalik leave to Farcaster over Twitter? Like why did he leave? And it's like, dude, like for so many reasons, you know, like for so many freaking reasons. Yeah, Farcaster Warpcast is really just really awesome. I'll be quiet again because I think I went on a whole roundabout circle of things.
No, I love that. This is a good segue into what I wanted to talk more about because you did touch on creators and even, influencers and artists over there. And it would be nice to hear from some of you, if you can share some examples of the benefits you feel like Farcaster has or could be used for in respect for artists finding success, specifically using the app. I know you touch on this, Jeff. We're here to share our art and hopefully, sell our art, sell our products, things like that, and find the communities with which, we can be in conversation about our work. So I'm just curious how everybody has been utilizing Farcaster in that capacity. Yeah, so talk to me about the opportunities or potential opportunities you see. Let's start with you, Creatress.
Hey, okay, great question. Thank you for that. I would say, let's see, the best things that I have been able to do for others, I'll say first, is just like tipping my friends. You know, for example, there was somebody who was trying to make make a trip out, and I'm not sure if they're still trying to make it out there, but I suggested, it was like, hey, I could pledge like 1,000 DGen. That I can tip you every day, so that you, when it's time for your trip, you can swap those out for ETH or USD, and then actually go on your trip. Excuse me. So that's one of the things. But that's just like for my, like art friends, like people that I like love and cherish for a long time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, now I have like this like free money that I can share with them. This is freaking amazing. So that's one way. The other way has been like helping build my own community, is just tipping pretty much everybody who interacts with my stuff, at first. And now I'm tipping people like my collectors, anytime, in the past maybe month, whoever mints the first one or mints any of my art, I will go and tip them before anyone else. So that's one way, like doing little rewards for your collectors or your community or just anybody who's supporting you, I think is really freaking cool. And it's not just like a POAP, and it's not like an awardable badge, which there's nothing wrong with those. I have given those out too. But this actually equates to real money in your pocket if you wanted to. You can go swap it, which is unheard of for the most part, I'd say. Yeah, I say I'll just leave it there. Those two things. Also, I was gonna do a call out. Oh yeah, everybody in this room, if you're on Warpcast, you should post your profile link in the comments so everybody can go follow each other. That's one. Actually, there's one more thing I have to say. When it comes to DGen tipping and any tipping allowance that you may get over there, it is almost always based on the amount of likes and follows that you have. So if you want your friends to have a bigger tipping allowance, spend a little time going through their posts and give them likes. Make sure you're following your friends, because it all kind of feeds the ecosystem. It's like a nice little circle of arrows, and it works really nicely so far.
Oh, I love that. I didn't know
So
that. Yeah, Ashira, please go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to push back a little bit on what you're talking about, Creatress, because yes, 1,000%. DGen is amazing. It's been amazing for many of us. The tipping of DGen, the ecosystem of DGen, has been really incredible for a lot of us over there, myself included. But I don't really think that that's like, yes, right at this very moment, I think that's relevant, and it's relevant for creators. But I don't. That's not like a core thing. That's not a core Farcaster or Warpcast thing in particular, and that's something that is likely going to go away pretty quickly as DGen rolls out. Like these are airdrops that are happening like at this moment, but that's not the future of Farcaster or Warpcast. And I would be very careful about like, I think it's great, like build an audience, use it for whatever we can right now, but also recognize that you don't want your audience to only be there because you're tipping them DGen. Because number one, we've seen with the last airdrop and the tipping amount. So just to backtrack a little bit, let's just break down a little bit of like the DGen and the tipping and what that all is in general, because I think that's going to be a confusing point unless people understand kind of how that works. So with DGen right now, because they're still in the airdrop phase of DGen, there is a way to get a they're not just giving out, it's not like a regular airdrop where it's getting where the coins are getting airdropped to people based on what they did in their wallet, or how much of the system they used, or like that kind of thing, or the protocol, like a lot of other airdrops. But it's based on tipping. So in order to get a tip allowance, somebody has to have 10,000 DGen in the wallet that they have connected last to Warpcast. So you can have multiple wallets linked to your account, but the only one that really matters for DGen is the one that you connected last. So you have to have 10,000 DGen coins in your wallet that you connected last in order to even get a tipping allowance. And the tipping allowance right now has to be used up every day, and then it resets. And you cannot give the allowance to yourself. It has to be tipped out with a command, right? So right now the command is the amount that you want to tip, like let's say 420 DGen, and then you do it 420 space $sign DGen, the word DGen spelled out, and that would tip the person who you are commenting underneath. So in order to get the allowance, you have to have had your wallet connected for a couple days. You have to have posted a number of not recasts but original casts, and the amount that you are the amount of your allowance is.
Ashira, I think you're rugging. At least for me, you are. Can anyone hear her, or is it just me?
Can't hear her.
Okay. Ashira, we can't hear you if you want to mute.
Well, nah,
Go
I
ahead,
can't hear
Jack.
her either, but I wanted to jump
Hear
in.
me or no?
Oh,
Oh,
there's a
there you are.
website for this all. So dgen.tips, I mean, I don't know if you guys ever remember the .tips domain for any reason whatsoever. But yeah, dgen.tips is a website, and it's got all that information that Shira was talking about. So if you want to review that and find out exactly what you need to do, go over there.
Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. With that was like a whole roundabout thing about DGen and how you get them and all that. But I think my main point there was just to say that that is something that is very present now, but that is likely not going to be the way it is in the future. So like DGen and the whole tipping thing, like that's kind of like the frosting on the cake for me right now with Farcaster. I would say the number one thing for me is signal to noise ratio, and the ability to find your people quickly and easily. due to channels and that sort of thing. But I just wanted to, I love DGen, don't get me wrong, please tip me all your DGen, tip all of us. But I would be very hesitant to build your Farcaster presence based on DGen and DGen tipping. But it is very, very, very useful. Yeah, and also in terms of like DGen and all that, if you go to my, I'm gonna do a little plug here. If you go to my channel /ArtMaxi, and you recast my pinned cast on there, I will also tip you DGen or ham.
I love that. Thank you. So you guys heard that, and Creatress also is tipping if you re-share her cast as well, or recast her cast. It's casting over there. I would love to hear from Black Dave and from Jeff about the question I had about opportunity or potential opportunity, either potential you see or things that you have sort of been noticing and taking advantage of over there as a creator.
Okay, I'll go. I was gonna see if Jeff was gonna go first. Um, so I think that focusing on like DGen and tipping and stuff isn't quite helpful as a creator in like the long term. I feel like it's a hot take right now. Like everyone's really into like doing what they have to do in order to get DGen or giving people DGen sort of in exchange for activity, which I think is cool. It's not my personal MO though. I kind of been the same about meme coins. I just think like um, focusing on finances kind of muddies the water that you're trying to create as a creative person. So I try to avoid all of it altogether. I uh, I don't think I did a video on it. I kind of have, but um, something that I think is super underrated right now, that I think is going to actually be super highly rated in the future, is the proliferation of channels, and how there will be channel networks that essentially is like a channel that pulls from lots of channels to create these sort of scenes. So, for instance, like there's a rap um, channel that exists, and I have a channel and I rap. And let's say there is a Wu Tang channel, and there is a Jay Z channel, and all these different channels of all these artists. What essentially could become possible in the future is following the rap channel keeps you up to date with all the things that happen in rap music via the channels of the individual artists. I did a video on this using Discord as a reference point because I think it's going to be way more prevalent in Discord in music. But I think that all creators should actually think about making their own channel. Like the share said earlier, it's 25 bucks for a year, but I think that it allows you to create a focused home for everything that's happening around you. And I think even with this, if you look at what Creatress was saying about using DGen tipping, if Creatress had a channel and if you followed her channel and you got DGen for following that channel, that could be something much more interesting because they may have been driven to join you that one time in exchange for DGen, but you don't have to continue to offer it to them. And now they're kind of stuck seeing your work on the timeline unless they want to unfollow. And I know stuck's a strong word because it's not really stuck. I'm sure they enjoy it. And so for me, I think my like future look and my favorite, I don't know if it's the biggest because I don't think DGen will be over for a really long time. So I'll say my favorite opportunity is channels and then networks of channels creating ecosystems within the platform. Also, I will say I use an app called Nook, which is like test flight only right now, but you are able to create what they call Nooks and sort of have like a collection of channels in these specific nooks so you can sort of customize your app experience and not have to see every channel you follow at once. I can actually like have a music focused one, I can have a dev focused one, I can have a art focused one, I can have just different topics. So yeah, for me it's all about channels, and I actually hate the token aspect. Even though I will say, this is my last thing. Creator tokens. So like I have my own token as a creator that has no financial value. I think there's a huge opportunity there where if people are interacting with your casts or following you or doing specific activities, you can reward them in that and then use that token in order to have them mint your works, or use that token in order for them to claim real world merchandise or whatever the case may be. If I were plugging anything in this instance, it's that I have my own token called Kuro. Many of you, probably all of you up here have some. I think all of you up here have some. I know Dan has some. I know Jessica has some. I feel like Creatress and Ashira have some. I think Jeff does, but I know at least most of you do. So, yeah. Okay, rant over.
Amazing. Thanks. Ashira, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to real quick. That's first of all, Black Dave. Of course, I have your token. Number one, of course, I have your token. I will never get rid of it. I will always keep it. But I just wanted to say again that yes, like the channels, have your own channel as an artist, but also remember that this is not your forever blog unless you make damn sure that you are paid up on storage. And so, because those posts will eventually start to disappear. That's all.
Thanks, Creatress.
Hey, no, thanks, Black Dave, for bringing a few of those points up. I was gonna say, for the record, I do have a channel, and I am tipping people who follow it. That was actually one of the first
Ahead of the
times.
game.
First times I offered tips for doing something. So I made my channel like probably within the first 2 weeks of them releasing the channels, and yeah, you know what? And that makes me think. The way that I've kind of been using it kind of varies from like week to week, right? So I think this is another thing you can consider, is using it to drive attention to whatever it is that you're working on at any given point. So, for example, right now I'm working on trying to find partnerships and performance opportunities in Austin. So that's why I said, like, hey, I'll tip people who, share my current post. But yeah, like maybe a month ago when I had just launched my channel, it was join the channel, and I'll tip you, or post something in the channel, like a memory that we have or artwork that you have of mine, and I'll tip you type thing. And then just another thing, like, yeah, what Ashira mentioned about the tipping is so true. It's like you don't want to build your audience based on that. But this is how I've always been. I've always been about reciprocal relationships. And if I have anything, I don't care if it's like some candy or some joints at an event. I'm gonna reward the people that are around me and that have been supporting me most. Always. So even if it's gone, and it will be gone, we know airdrops aren't like ongoing forever. I feel like it also will teach me, because the people that continue to support me are the real ones, and the ones that don't, then I'll know who to weed out, who was really just there for the tips. And that is important and valuable information too, because that way you know who your real homies are.
I love it. Jeff, go ahead.
So, yep. So, I think I would say so far my favorite opportunity has been finding new art and and minting, things for 0.00, what is it, 0077 or 00077? I forget how many zeros, but it ends up being,
3 zeros.
it's 3 zeros, and it ends up being about $2.50 of base ETH, right? So how I term the essentially free mint. So it's so cheap without the gas worry, right? That you're basically like, because the gas ends up being like 6 cents. Like I minted on Optimism 2 nights ago, and it cost 4 cents to mint and another 8 cents to list it. And so the cost of gas on the mints is so low because of the L2s that are kind of proliferating in this environment, that it's furthering people to go use things like Base, because it's giving an incentive for them to have ETH on Base and to use it for picking up art. So people will, go to Coinbase, buy $100 worth of ETH, and just transfer it to their wallet on Base. That's literally all you have to do. You can, and if you have ETH somewhere else and you don't want to bridge it, you can send it back to Coinbase and then send it back out to your wallet, which is cheaper in most cases than bridging it from ETH to Base, because you'll pay the gas fee. By the way, gas is low right now anyway on ETH, but having said that, the whole thing, buy the ETH, send it on Base to your wallet instead of on ETH to your wallet, and it gives you the option. It's like, which do you want to send it on ETH or on one of these L2s? And they basically cover the cost for that right now, and so they'll send it directly, um, and and so the cost for you is so negligible to just put money in your wallet to fund it, and then every time you see cool art, you're scrolling through the feed, you mint. You just go mint, and it's $2. Here's $2. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. And I've got a wallet full. I probably mint 4 to 5 pieces a day on Farcaster. Like, it's so much more fun to collect, knowing that they're gonna get at least a couple bucks, and if they only get, like, 30 for it, still that's better than one person buying an NFT for $30. I personally think so, because you have more collectors. So, and from an artist point of view, the tipping thing is very interesting, because I love supporting other artists, but I can't always buy the NFT. So I'll tip on something that I like, regardless of if it's for sale or not, because if I have zero point zero 0.03 in my wallet, which is you know just for buying those $2 mints, I'm not going to be able to afford like a bigger mint, but I can still tip degen, and I can like go to that art and appreciate it and show some appreciation. And then another thing that I absolutely love is showing appreciation for collectors of mine, because there's not a lot of things you can do. I mean, they bought your art, they showed their support for you. They're here for you in so many ways, but like, they're posting content too. They have pictures, they have jokes, they're posting things, and it's so nice to just go to those collectors that you interact with and have friendships with, and just toss them degen for making you laugh on a post. So that's my favorite thing about being on Farcaster right now.
That's a lot. I mean, we've covered a lot. There's a lot of benefits, and I really appreciate everybody for coming up and speaking. I want to get to Dan, and then I just want to wind it down. I have another question, and then I want to take just a few questions from the audience. So if you do have a question you want to come up, now would be the moment to request. But Dan, what's up?
I wanted to know, what are some of the scams or things that you guys are seeing on Farcaster with it being so new? I'm sure there's like opportunities for scammers to go in there. Is there anything that I should look out for, or anything that's super shady and obvious?
Oh, yes, that's a great question. One very easy scam is people reaching out to artists and trying to like invite them to do a project, but that happens here on Twitter too. So
All
that's not,
DMs. Yep.
yeah, not all DMs, but like I've gotten a couple
Well,
where
it's
it's
okay. Yeah, there's a
So it's like
DM filter.
socially engineering people and like scamming them on the back
Yes,
end using Farcaster as the tool.
they're trying to get you.
Okay, but as far as like, there's the obvious like link and wallet drainers, but with some of these frames, I'm just wondering if anybody's ever seen anything,
Well, the
behind the
risk with
scenes.
frames is when it takes you off of the app. So you're as my understanding is that as long as it's within frames within the app, it's fine. You're not interacting with your wallet in that way. But a lot of the frames will ask you, do you want to be taken to this other page? Do and then it's like you click I understand or whatever it is, and then you're taken off of the app and onto, like, let's say Zora or whatever other website. And so that is, I think that's where the risk shows up primarily is, you do want to make sure that you are on those sites and that you trust the people that are posting those and all that. But I think that there is a sort of, at least there was, I think it's maybe dissipated a little bit, but there was this sort of thing of like, oh, we're on Warpcast, it's safe. And it's like, no, dude, like you're still subject to the same stuff. We're still in crypto. This is still a social media thing. You still, for the most part, want to close your direct casts, right? I was going to say DMs, but you want to close the ability for just anybody to message you, just like you would do here or any other place. And you really want to watch your back for sure. It's easy to get lulled into thinking like, oh, this is safe. This is, you know, smaller, this or that. But especially now with Degen in the picture, it really popped off once that first airdrop of Degen happened, like the very, very first one, and people kind of realized that Degen was a thing and that Degen could be farmed, and all that. And then all like the bots and scammers and stuff shows up. But, you know, I still see way fewer there than over here, obviously, just because it's much smaller. But they are definitely still there. Everybody has to be careful.
Creatress.
Yeah, I actually I don't have I think we covered pretty well the pitfalls, and honestly I haven't seen much, to be honest. Like for the amount of clicking on links that we do over there, it has been it has been actually really really good. Right, the numbers are pretty good. People have been rugged, but I haven't seen very many at all. But I wanted to talk about something else before I forget. Literally, while we were talking about this, I went and claimed. Hold on, I need a sound effect. I just claimed 0.01 ETH, which is not a lot, but it's about $47. It's like $47, give or take, right? From the Nouns channel. For posting something there. And literally, that's all I did. So here's something I got to put you guys on to. I'm posting it right now in the comments. All right. So there's a lot of channels, specifically nouns related channels. Now I'm part of the nouns ecosystem. I don't have a noun. Okay, they're like 5 to 10 ETH, and I don't have it like that yet. So I don't have one. But I am part of the Nounsel, which is basically the nouns council. And so we review props that come in and all this stuff. Anyway, I'm really into it, right? I have had a few grants from them, from SubDAOs, not the official Nouns DAO. Anywho, they have a large treasury and they constantly use it to promote and proliferate the Nouns brand. Okay. So one of the things they're doing on Farcaster is they're hosting these rounds. Okay. So I believe there's 4 rounds that are open right now. You can find them all in the comment that I just posted. Okay, click the link. That'll take you to Warpcast, and it takes you to a post which has all 4 channels that you can just click on, and then you can go see the open rounds they have. How to participate varies. For nouns specifically, for that round, all I did was make a post in the nouns channel that was related to the nouns. And I've got tons of stuff to post about it because I've been interacting with them for a while. But if you have anything related to nouns that you want, that you can post, go do it. And the way that you win part of the rewards is by likes. So if people that are active in the nouns channel like your post, that counts as a vote. And at the end of the round, they divide up the total amount of ETH they have. I think it's like 3 ETH every time, but it varies. And they just divide it between the people that had the most votes. Or I think it's everybody who entered, just depending on how many votes you have. That's the allocation of ETH that you get. And you can go and claim your ETH within a frame. It takes like a couple clicks. You don't have to sign anything with your wallet. They literally airdrop your funds. That's it.
Amazing, amazing. This has been really great to hear everybody weigh in on this. I do want to wrap it up. It looks like no one in the audience has any questions. So if that is the case, I do have a question asking for a friend. I know we had a chance to talk about a little bit of everything. We didn't touch on everything. But I have a question about the airdrop. Is that actually going to happen again, or have we seen, is that
I
done
can
and
take that
over?
one.
Okay,
Yep,
because this is the end
airdrops,
of the
they
month.
do.
It's end of the month.
So they do and have been multiple airdrops. They did round 1 is over. We're in round 2 now, and within round 2 there are seasons. So go to dgen.tips, and you can claim there under the airdrops button, and you click on airdrop 2 and then see if you're eligible, and that'll also show your tip allowance on there once you connect your wallet. But that the nobody knows how long it'll go, right? Because we don't know exactly how much is left in airdrop 2, and then there will also be an airdrop 3. So if you click on the tokenomics tab, it shows you the pie, airdrop 1, 2, and 3, and so they're all 3 of airdrop 1, 2, and 3 are all green color coded, so I don't know which is which. There's different percentages. It doesn't, like, break it down any more than that, so it's like, no, you can't really tell. One says 15%, one says 20, one says 25. Who knows which of those is 1, 2, and 3? So, there is more coming, and you can also, get in on the liquidity pool, which is, 15% of the tokenomics, for the token. It's currently trading at around 0.03 like cents per degen, I think, around that 0.03. It's been up in 0.03, 0.04. It's been as high as 0.06. So we've seen the activity get a lot higher right before the airdrop, and then kind of slow down during the middle of the month. But yeah, the end of the month is typically the airdrop. But we don't know how many are left. We just know so far they've been doing it at the end of the month.
It does say
Amazing.
I
April
will.
30th on the website is the airdrop 2 claim. Jessica, I don't know if you're asking for a date, but that's the actual date.
Yeah, I was looking at I feel like I'm on the wrong side or something, but that's okay. I'll hit you guys up in the back channel to ask about the correct one. But we do have three guests up here. OG, you have your hand up. If you all could keep it brief because we have our guests a little bit over time, that would be great. So let's start with OG, Chaz, and then go to Granny.
Hello, thank you for bringing me up. Yeah, I just came up to in case Dan wanted but going back to the scams and stuff. There's some channels there. One is called Police, and you can like review in written form some scams that's been going on, and also Cybersecurity is another channel that you can check out. Sorry. Um, yeah, I like to whenever I find out about any scam, I like to post them there or in my little artist chat so everybody be aware nobody gets scammed. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. Thanks for that. You posted that in the comments?
Oh, I can. I will.
Yeah,
I
that would be
did
great.
also. Yeah, I also posted like the DGen diagram, how to tip and how to get tip in more detail if in written form. If everybody's interested in the comments now.
Amazing. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. Definitely, bookmark this talk and go back and go through because there's a lot of resources that folks put up in there. So appreciate everybody for participating today. Chaz, welcome to the stage. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just over here like listening to you guys and just like running through Farcaster like a chicken without his head on. I'm like, let's go! I'm like, got me all excited. So, I just want to say thank you for having this space and like just want to come here to you guys some flowers. Like this is really informative. There's only one thing that you guys missed to say, and I want to tell you about this. So, if you have a friend that you want to onboard onto Farcaster, you can buy them an invitation with works and send them the code, and they can get on without having to pay for warps or anything. So you can do that. I've done it for like 4 or 5. It was like $5 in warps to gift them invitation. But I've done it with like I think like 4 or 5 people I know now that just didn't have money to get on there, and I was like, here, let's go. You know, so
Amazing. Yeah, if
yeah.
there's anything that you can post in the space comments, that'd be awesome in the
Yeah,
purple bubble.
I can do that. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Amazing. Thanks so much. Yeah, that's really awesome. That's a really nice
Yes, when
feature.
you go to work, we go to your invite. There's a on Farcaster. You go to I'm gonna put the link in down the comment. But like when you on Forecaster and go to invites, it'll say like underneath all the links and stuff, the copy links. It'll say want to gift instead. Cover your fees, sign up fees for with using Warps, and then you can click on that and it'll take your Warps and then it'll give you a code to give to your friend.
Awesome. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So, Granny, welcome to the stage. Do you have a question or a comment?
Sorry, hi, I'm Granny. You see a lot of familiar faces here from long ago. Jessica, Chaz, Jeff, and Natalie Crew and Jen and Jean. Anyway, a lot of people. And I'm on Warpcast, Farcaster. I am still learning. I am a granny, but I want to tell you guys, Stella Bell has a wonderful AI art. Wait, I'm sorry, AI. What am I saying? She has a crypto channel to learn Warpcast. She's really, really good at it. Chaz, can you chip in and say what the name of that channel is? Do you remember?
I don't know if he's frozen or if he hopped down.
Okay, or if
Maybe he
anybody
can
else knows
post it.
Stella Bell, follow Stella Bell and you'll find,
Yeah,
do follow her. She's super helpful.
yeah, she's great. And her channel, I want to say it's called Crypto School. I'm actually going to look it up right this second and I'll post it in the comments.
Amazing.
School of Crypto School. It's a channel.
Yeah, school. Okay, and I also had a quick question about how do I learn to see all the other channels? I have certain channels I can see on my feed, but I don't know. Like you guys are talking about a lot of other channels, and OG was talking about some of his stuff I really want to access. So I'd just like to know how to do that. Thank you.
I will send. I'll put Stella Bella's link down in the comments. And she has a thing called Crypto Art School that's really cool. But I'll put both links down in the comments for people to follow her and find her school, the link to her school.
Yeah, it's slash. So the way that channels work in Warpcast is you do a slash and then the channel name. And so her channel is slash crypto art dash school. Because in order to mint the channels or cast the channels, whatever that is, you cannot have spaces, so people use dashes instead of spaces.
Yeah, I put the direct links down in the comments too.
Amazing. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guys. So we are going to wind it down and close the space up. So if anybody has any last words before we close, any of our panelists, please speak now.
If I actually had a question really quick about the Nifty Kit thing. Do we still need a pass? Because I still have my old pass for Nifty Kit from like a long time ago. I actually never used it. Do we still need that to mint collections and whatnot, or?
Yeah, use it to mint your collections. There's and we can post the link in there that explains all of it, but there's a rev share on there. So take
All
a
right,
look at
cool. Yeah,
that and
because
we
I
can
still
send
have
it
my
over to you.
membership pass thing from way back when.
Yeah, you're an OG. Hold on
Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
Yeah, you're going to want to keep that. So with that, Jeff, any last words? You got your hand up?
Yeah, just wanted to take a little self-indulgent moment here. I have a Nifty Kit collection that had its 1-year anniversary today. So it was my first diamond contract, and it's the Builders of Titania. The pre-sale started 1 year ago today at 0.03. So in honor of that 1-year anniversary, I've lowered the mint price back down to 0.03 for the next week. So between now and May 2nd, it will go back up to 0.05 on May 2nd, basically. So yeah, between now and then, it's basically saving you $60. And since gas is low, just wanted to shout that out and let people know if you were looking for a time to get one and you're interested in, there's 900 plus left in the collection. 79 have been minted out of
Amazing.
10 out of 1,024. So, and also you have a chance to win one. So up at the top, I posted the 0.03 announcement, and then right next to that, there's a caption contest, randomly chosen. So in the next week, if you want to go ahead and put a caption in there, you can do a Photoshop, or you can just type in, what the two people are saying to each other, the two builders, and you'll be entered into the contest, and then you just there's terms in the post, so you can read all about it. But I'd love for people to participate in that and share it, and you can get a chance to win a builders of Titania through that as well.
Awesome.
And
Thanks, Jeff.
I'm going to be doing a space right after this for the anniversary. So that's it. I'm done.
All
Thank you,
right, so
everybody.
follow Jeff into that space. Appreciate you, Jeff. I can't believe it's been a year with your Nifty Kit Builders of Titanium collection. That's awesome. Anybody else have anything to go out with before we close?
Shout out to Trish and the audience for getting me on Farcaster 8 months ago, and appreciate it.
Yeah, Trish. Pew 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 for getting us on Farcaster. And there's also a great space that Trish was on this morning talking about Warpcast and Farcaster from GM Web3. So definitely check that out too. That's worth a re-listen. So thanks everybody. I really appreciate you guys, hanging out today and joining us. And just thanks to our guests and to Nifty Kit for hosting. Again, please follow all of our guests. Follow Nifty Kit, and if you're a creator, please be in touch. You could check out the pinned tweets above to learn more about Nifty Kit, and you can reach out to us so we can help you launch your next NFT project. And now you'll also be able to launch on Farcaster with us, so that's pretty exciting. You're definitely going to want to tune in next week for my drop on base that's powered by Nifty Kit, which will be on Farcaster frames as well. And just a friendly reminder, we do have a weekly spaces called Not Really Degen with NFT giveaways, games, and fun every Thursday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. And that's tonight. And next week, Tuesday, we will have a space about the first Farcaster frame drop. So both of those spaces are pinned up top. So RSVP, follow me, follow Nifty Kit, put us on notifications so you don't miss that. And please bookmark this space. Go back and look at all of the resources and comments that the speakers left. And also, really quickly, if you scroll through and see what all of our guests pinned up top, bookmark those as well. Make sure you follow everybody on Farcaster if you're over there. If you're not over there yet, I think that some of us have made a compelling sort of case to get over there and start experimenting. That's not financial or creative advice, but it's just something to do. So thanks, everybody. Thank you, Creatress. Thank you, Black Dave. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Ashira. And thank you, Dan, for all being here today. We really appreciate you guys. Hope to see you guys tonight and next Tuesday. And if not, see you in the DMs. Let's get your frames up. Let's fucking go. We're so stoked about this. Cannot wait. I'll see you guys later.